God, I want to thank you for allowing me to see another day, allowing us to see another day, to see another. I appreciate you. I ask that you watch over the stream. I ask that you watch over everyone who comes into contact with this message, everyone who this is for. I ask that you give them exactly what it is that they came here for and what they need. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. My name is White Tiger. After taking some time from streaming, I've come back with only one goal: to be myself. But to do that, I can't be the streamer I once was. To honor the stream's memory, I must be someone else. I must be something else. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. There it is. Welcome in. I'm going to play this in the background. See how this goes. But, how does this sound? I didn't like the way... Oh, because I'm muted. That makes sense. All right. So, here's what we're going to do. I'm cutting this up because this is why I was gone. Like, I'm like, it's like you're seeing it live. Those of you on YouTube, I appreciate you. Thank you. Like I was trying to say before, YouTube is doing things I didn't think I would see again, to be honest. There's been a lot of like no view videos and all of that stuff, but you guys have been comments, liking the videos, the view, like I appreciate the support just in any way. Yeah. So I sincerely appreciate y'all. The road to SWAT is still active. It's still active. The training just had to be paused for a bit. So I want to talk about why I haven't been streaming. I know I started talking. I don't know who's listening. But basically, I want to talk about the end. Well, so I told y'all the story. If you've been following the Tiger Talks, I told y'all about the story about me getting written up on October 3rd. That's that part. October 10th, a week later, Friday again, my first day, I get another write-up. And because of the previous write-up, this is now a final written notice, which basically puts me on probation with my job. They're basically saying, hey, if there's any type of issues or whatever. It's so first of all, I want to let you know all of the write-ups that I got were for productivity. It was for productivity. So so there's that. So on the 10th, I get a final written notice, and I have a right to appeal this one. Just like I was telling y'all about in June. So I have 7 days to appeal it. And, I battled with it. Like back in June, I just like the confidence I had in what was going to be the outcome. I was like, I know I'm not going anywhere. Um, like I was telling a few people around me during this appeal process, I didn't have that same confidence. Like I knew it was going to work out, but I didn't know the outcome. I didn't know the outcome. So, long story short, I submitted my appeal on Thursday, the day before I go in. So 6 days. um, so I put in this time that I want to speak to site leadership because the first time I did it with my, I selected to have my peers review the case and things of that nature. Um, this time I wanted to talk to site leadership. So I submitted that on Thursday. The next day, my first day for my shift, the 17th, I'm working, hitting my numbers in my main department. We go through the first break. After the first break, I get sent back to the packing side again. So I'm packing and I see my main manager coming down. Like I see him like far off, like on the other side, but I see him in the aisle. And immediately I'm like, yeah, I don't like he's from a completely different department. Like he's leadership in my main department. There's no reason for him to be over here. So I'm like, yeah, this is he's coming to see me. So anyway, again, I don't know how much of this story I told, but I'm kind of like fast forwarding it. Because I want to get to a point. So he approaches me and he's like, hey, now keep in mind, less than 24 hours before I placed the appeal. So he's like, hey, just log out real quick. Let's we just gotta, we gotta go to HR, real quick. Well, he was like, how you doing? All of that stuff. And he was like, we gotta go to HR or whatever, take a trip to HR. I was like, sure, that's fine. At this point, I'm starting to learn the HR reps by name. um, so I'm like, sure. So we walk in as normal. Sit down in one of the little private offices or whatever. Um, um, why does it sound robotic? Hang on, yo. I gotta keep checking this because why does it sound robotic? Didn't I get rid of this? Didn't I remove this already? Testing. Okay. I think it was doubled. That sounds how it's supposed to sound. I apologize for the first 8 minutes of this video. Not even gonna get into that. that tells me that there's nobody in the chat right now. Moving on. It's moving on. So we're sitting in the private office, and he comes in with the HR rep. Funny enough, this same scenario, like the people involved, happened in June. So so he sits down with his laptop and everything, and he lets me know that basically, the computer spits out whatever. And basically what's happening is he's giving me a termination notice. This is the 17th. So the 3rd, the 10th, and then the 17th. 3 weeks getting written up each week. Can't make this stuff up. So we're going through whatever. I asked them, I said, I'm just kind of speeding through this because I'm kind of like over it. And I want to get to where we are today, which today is the 19th, December 19th. So I asked them, like, how does this affect? Because they're telling me I have a right to appeal the termination notice. And I told them, I said, yesterday I just submitted an appeal for the final written notice. So do I have to like how does this affect, I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, how does this affect this and whatever. And the HR representative left the room to like get some answers or whatever. And my manager was just, sitting there talking to me and stuff like that. And he was like, one of the things he said to me was, I remember he said, he was like, I admire your response to all this, or and I told him, I said, at the end of the day, I just came here to work. You know what I mean? Like I didn't, I as I'm telling this story, I feel like I've told this story, but the part that you guys are missing, basically, what happened is the HR representative came, and I asked him while we were alone. I said, so because of this this was like 11 o'clock in the morning. So I basically said to him, I said, based off of this termination notice, does this mean I have to leave now? Like what happened? He said basically, essentially, yeah. So she comes back. She says she can't see the appeal that I submitted in the system. She said because it gets sent somewhere else or whatever. Okay. So they go through their whole thing, reading the disclaimers and all of that stuff that they had to do. And he asked me if I wanted to submit any like comments or anything like that, like document anything for this. And I told him, I said, the only thing I have to say in reference to this is no one, regardless of the situation, should have to say that they're being mistreated more than once. And I left it at that. The meeting ended. He walked me to clock out. I went through the security, the metal detector, whatever. I scanned my bag because you got to scan in and out to you got to scan a revolving door to get in and out. So I scanned my badge. I handed it to him. I walked through the door, and he said, good luck to you. And he said, thank you for everything. I said, thank you, and then I walked out. That was the 17th, October 17th. October 17th. I want to say around October 21st, I think it was 21st. I get an email from Amazon saying that my appeal is scheduled for the 23rd, or it was either the 21st or the 22nd. It was like a day or two. Um, and they said that um, my appeal had been scheduled. Now this was for the final written. I hadn't submit like this with like I want you to hear the time frame, the 17th. So I have till the 24th of October to submit the appeal for the final for the termination notice. The basically, the one that stopped me from working essentially. So we meet on the 23rd. So um so I requested to meet with site leadership. First meeting had about 4 people, I think, in it. This was only one. So we go back and forth. He introduces himself. Tom, I think his name was. I usually don't like to use names, but I don't know his last name and I don't even know what he looks like. So, um, but we go back and forth. I basically tell him the situation. I tell him, how things were going on as to the reason why I transferred in the first place. Um, I told him, I said, the very reason I'm in this position right now is we're not even talking about my main department. We're talking about the department that I tried to get out of because things were happening. Like two of my last 3 write-ups were from the old department that I transferred out of because of the whole, being systematically assigned a heavier workload all the time. um so um so we went back and forth talking about it. He said that he saw that I had he basically said from an operations standpoint that he saw that the amount of time I spent packing heavy items was the same as I spent packing small items. I spent hours next to people who were on those stations that I was saying I never got to be on that never packed a big box. But he's saying it was even. I said to him in just us exchanging, ideas and words and stuff. I said to him, I said, if one of the outcomes of this, because I asked him like, how could this, turn out? And he said, you can get reinstated, which means you'd be able to go back to work and stuff like that. And I said to him, I said, if one of the outcomes of what we're doing here, like of this process, is me going right back into the very situation that got me here, that doesn't make any sense. That's pointless. Like if one of the solutions to this process, like one of the options, is for me to go right back into what it is I'm complaining about, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I told him about the HR representative that I had researching this, because I hadn't spoke to him yet. He told me that, because he was from the same building. So he told me, oh, I know who you're talking about. I'm going to look into the system. I'm going to do a deep dive and stuff like that. And, he said, it would take some time or whatever. An hour later, I get an email saying that the decision was upheld, meaning they said the write-up was legit. Now, I'm I missed no. I didn't tell y'all part of the story. As soon as I ended my meeting with him, and he told me that one of the possible solutions was that I just go right back in to the thing. So as soon as I got off, as soon as I've told this to several people, as soon as I hung up with him, because it was like it was a I forget what they use, but it wasn't a Zoom meeting, but it was an audio meeting. Like I had to call in for it. Like I used this microphone and everything, like through the computer. It was kind of cool. Anyway, as soon as that meeting ended, I pulled up one of my tabs and started applying for jobs. Within 30 seconds, I was applying for another job. Within 30 seconds of that meeting ended, I was applying for other jobs. So when I got that email an hour later, I was like, again, I still had the right to appeal the termination notice, but I had the same exact feelings about the termination notice that I did about the appeal, about the final written notice. What's the point? What's the point? This is site leadership I'm talking about. This is like, like this is your system. This is what you use. This is what you are constantly looking at, and of course you're going to defend it. Doesn't matter what I'm saying. Of course you're going to defend it. Start applying for jobs. Now we're getting to why I stopped streaming. So I don't know the official because of how these come out. I mean, I did a bunch of stuff. I mean, we did contraband, police. We did a bunch of stuff. But why I stopped streaming was money started to get low. What does that have to do with streaming? I am, and I know this about myself. When my money is touched, when my income, when my finances are touched, I shut down. Stop going outside. Stop buying things, because to me, logically, it doesn't make sense to spend money if you don't have a steady income coming in. I went right back to unemployment, started applying for that. They finally approved me after, I got what I was supposed to. I'll put it that way. But I did get unemployment, which was, keep it honest, about half of what I was bringing home in a week from Amazon. It was about half. Realistically, it was about half. In the background, I still have student loans. And my student loans at this point are $1,100 a month. This has been an ongoing thing. And when I say ongoing, I mean for years. For those, and I usually don't do this, you guys know this. For those who might reside in New Jersey, like I do, or in the surrounding area, or if you ever have to move here or whatever the reason, do not use New Jersey Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, HESA. Higher Education Student Assistance Authority, I believe is the. Don't use HESA. Don't. Just trust me when I tell you. Don't. Just don't. Don't. I have been asking them for years, why is my payment so high? Now I started asking them for like relief programs. I'm like, listen, this is too high. Around $800 a month. It's now $1,100. So basically what they would say is, oh, it's too high. We can pause your payments for 6 months. I'm thinking like, oh, that's good. That's cool. So what was happening was they were pausing the payments, but the payments weren't going away. So 800 today would 800 a month today would be 850 in 6 months. And then 850, and then 850, and then 850. This is the type of service that I'm getting from them. I reached out to them because I essentially lost my job. And I'm like, listen, I told you I couldn't afford this before. I definitely can't now. I asked for a manager to get involved because every time I talk to them is like talking to a brick wall. Their help isn't actually help. Now again, I just told you I've been asking for years, why is my payment so high? I literally told them, I have records of this, like emails to the loan department, the people who handle. Anyway, I have anyway. I asked for a manager to get involved because I'm not really getting help. It wasn't until a week or two ago that the manager, now he left me 2 messages. Like I asked for a manager to call me, right? So they just randomly call. I missed the phone call. And I said, "Hey, I missed the phone call." I messaged them back because they said, "Hey, it's been, your request has been submitted, whatever, for management, whatever." So I said, "Hey, I missed the phone call. Um, would it be possible to reschedule the call, like to schedule the call?" They just called me randomly again. I missed it again. I emailed them again and I said, "Hey, I missed the call again and I requested for us to schedule a phone call." Then they asked me my availability or whatever. They asked me my availability. I gave it to them. Funny enough, I actually missed the third call because they didn't tell me when they were gonna call. But they left a message. What is my point? I just told you I just told you that I've been asking them for years why my payment was so high. The supervisor, manager, whatever, that got my request, he left me 2 messages. The second message, this is years. The second message, he tells me that the reason my loans are so high is because my maturity date for the loans is for 2028. So they're expecting me to pay 30 this portion of the loan is like 36,000. 36,000 in 3 years. That's why it's so high. Up until this point, nobody has mentioned anything about a maturity date. They just told me to try to get somebody else to take over the loan. And yet they just kept offering me deferments and deferments and deferments, which increased the payment. So they weren't really helping me. So I'm behind with them. Which in itself is, again, it's touching my finances. I can barely live with $1,100 hanging over me. And what makes matters worse is that my mom is a signer on the loan. Like, this was a loan for me to get into college. So whenever I'm behind, like 30 days, let's say, it hits my credit report and it hits hers. She's in the retirement space. She's in those conversations. So it's affecting her in a big way because of what's going on with her finances and stuff. So now I have to have these uncomfortable conversations with her. But on the other end, I'm telling her, I'm like, I'm not getting any help from them. Like every time I talk to them, I'm not getting any help from them. Like I even asked them a few months ago. I didn't tell any of y'all this, but I went to my mom a few months ago and I said, "Hey, is there any way that we could, because like we own our own home, so we got, they own the house. I put money in, not as much as some other people, but anyway, I give to the house, but so we got the mortgage. I asked, is there any way that we could like tap into some money so that I can pay my student loans off from these people and start paying you guys? The service, I'm thinking about taking a personal loan from the banks. I looked up twice what filing for bankruptcy would look like. This has been the loans have been hanging over me since I've been 19 years old. Since I was 19. 16 years. I kept trying to go to school doing the bare minimum because I didn't want to pay the loans back, but I didn't know what I wanted to do in college, so it backfired. I've been praying to God for a financial reset just to get these loans off of me. You know what you can do with $1,100? I'm pretty sure y'all know what you can do with $1,100 a month. Being able to save that. So, back to kind of what we were talking about. This is what's hanging over me. I stopped going to basketball after I lost my job with Amazon because I'm like, yeah, it's once a week, but that's gas now. Perspective on stuff. I stopped buying stuff. Did the bare minimum. Leftovers at the house. Peanut butter and jelly. Y'all didn't hear about the whole Amazon story, not the working for them, but I bought a pack of ramen noodles, like a bulk pack, like a 48 pack. it actually came. I got the wrong thing. They actually refunded me for it, but it was actually the best thing that could have happened. They gave me the cup of noodles instead of the like the ramen packaged noodles. 1, 2 of those a day. It's hard for me to live when I don't have an income. Don't get me wrong. Appreciative, grateful for unemployment. It's just not it. Not for me. So applying. Reached out to my boss, my old boss again, from the work from home job that I told y'all when I was working for the bank. I don't want to be rude. I don't know if it was lip service or not, but he told me he doesn't work in the department anymore. He moved to a different department, but he'll ask around to see if they need help or anything. He hasn't gotten back to me, and that was over a month ago, and that's not the first time, But anyway, good guy. So I don't know. I don't know what happened there. So I got a new job. Interestingly enough, the whole 30 seconds thing after the meeting, I was applying to the post office because they post jobs every Friday. So yeah, they posted the job today that I applied for. But I actually got selected. Selected for a job, had to do the background, did the fingerprint at the office or whatever. Doesn't require a resume. Just like Amazon. I got selected. The orientation, so technically my first day working with them, was November 29th. So from November 29th till today, I've been working for the post office 6 days a week. Tiger, Z, why are you not saying that with a smile on your face? You should be grateful. It's a holiday assignment. The woman that I spoke to on the phone told me it was going to be a 6-week assignment, which, okay, for the holidays, which would, around the time I spoke to her, that would get me until the middle of January. I get to orientation on the 29th. The trainer there, and I believe her, and it's accurate, she told all of us that the holiday assignment ends on December 26th. That's right, folks. 7 days from today. Or 6, depending on if you're watching this on YouTube or whatever. If you happen to watch this tomorrow when it releases. This kind of plays right into, just check on this because this is, yeah, we're good. Sounds beautiful. Sounds nice and crisp. That audio sounds crisp. This plays right into not necessarily the next topic, but the final one. But I'm going to say it here. Another reason why I wasn't streaming. There's an inner turmoil going on within me right now where I was talking to my mom about it. I was talking to another person of faith, and I told them, I said, I don't know when exactly it was, but I was living like a different life. And what I mean by that is like there was a season in my life, there was a period in my life where everything I was doing just worked. During COVID, the new Xboxes had come out, right? The Xbox Series S and X and all that stuff, PS5, that whole thing. Nobody could get their hands on it. There was, shortage. Everybody stopped working. It was backed up, blah, blah, blah. During COVID, I touched 3 systems. One, I gave away to the girl I was dating at the time. The second one, I sold to a good friend. I'll say that. No, I didn't sell. I gave that away too. I gave her so the X. So I had the X. I actually got it from Best Buy. Like it was a day of spamming. Like that's what happened. Me and the girl I was dating was spamming that day to get one. I got one. I gave it to her. The S, I actually bought it off of one of my boys, one of my day one people. I bought it off him, gave him the full price for it. Did I pay him 300 or 500? One of the two. Bought it off him. Was using that. Gave not very long, like a week or two, if not very long at all. Gave that away to a good friend. Then I bought mine, the very one that's in my room. So they came out as $500, right? I paid $1,500 for mine. I think I got it from Walmart or something like that. I bought it off somebody that was basically reselling it. That's what people were doing because you couldn't get your hands on them. I touched 3 during that whole scenario, during that whole time period. These are the kinds of things that happened normally to me. I didn't have to, I wasn't affected by the things that other people were affected by. All the things I did just worked. Like I was telling my mom the other day, like y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but it has gotten to this point. I was doing laundry the other day. I was setting up laundry in my room, like getting the baskets and stuff like that. Like we have a wash and dryer downstairs, so I was getting the baskets. We use baskets to transport the clothes or whatever. I'm on the top floor. I put my clothes in the basket. I turn to walk out the door, and the basket hits the door frame. Y'all think it's nothing. Realistically, to some of y'all, okay, you hit the door frame. Pay attention. I'm not used to the basket hitting the door frame. I'm used to swinging with enough space naturally to just go through the door. It's these little things that are a reminder as to what season I'm in right now. I've been applying for jobs for years. I've been looking for a specific job for years. I even had back in August, I think it was, I had a moment where somebody was offering me that job and I never heard from them again. Y'all heard the story about the girl at Amazon? It's just like everything that's about to happen for me just doesn't work. I said this to somebody just kind of like casually. I don't think I try not to. I'm not going to say I don't. I try not to think about it too much. Amazon, no resume. Post office, no resume. I have, now this isn't bragging, this is me pulling back the curtain and really talking about what it is that I'm experiencing here. I have 3 banks on my resume. Among other, experiences and stuff, 2 Amazons, doggy daycare, tutoring, worked for a church when I was in high school. I think I actually took off the pool technician because I was doing that as a summer job. CVS is on there, Best Buy's on there. I think I took off the movers thing where I was like moving, like a mover. I worked for another financial institution. It wasn't like a big name one, but I have PNC Bank, Bank of America Merrill Lynch, and for those who might know, BNY Mellon. Back when they had Pershing attached to their name. I think they went through a recent merge. I think they dropped it. But anyway, 3 financial institutions on my resume. And the last 2 jobs I had, it just didn't matter. So this is me. I mean, to each his own. To each his own. Like wherever you are in your relationship with whatever it is that you believe in, that's on you. I'm speaking to God like, how did we get here? Like all the years, whether it was through, the college nonsense that I was doing, the fact that I could put the fact that I went to college on my resume, and maybe that opened some doors with certain companies because they saw that at least he has some college credits or he's looking at, you know what I mean? All of that. Since let's say 2012, let's not count anything before 2012. 13 years of job experience. Because 2012 is when I believe I started working for CVS. No, but well, before that, I don't know. I don't remember. It was around there, 2011, 2012. So 13, 14 years, give or take, of job experience. And the last 2 jobs I had, it didn't mean anything. The 14 years of experience I had didn't mean anything. I'm not saying I did, but I could have very well just been picked from a hat. Because I wasn't allowed to submit my resume during the application process. That's depressing if you sit and think about that too long. I'm back doing manual labor where work experience doesn't matter. So I said, God, how did I get here? How did we get here? Did I do something? For those of you who know me, know I might be the most humble person you ever meet. I don't put myself above anybody. I just simply talk about what it is, like what's in front of me. This is what I'm talking about. Maybe even some of you, I've talked to you about what I've seen, whether it be for you or what, just in helping. Like I'm down to help everybody. I don't care what your situation is. I don't care. Listen, some of my look, what? I tell y'all all the time, don't talk about, oh, I believe in diversity and all of that stuff, and all your friends look just like you. Some of the people I speak to every day look nothing like me. Different nationality, different races, different backgrounds. Some of them, they don't have the same faith I have. They don't have the same belief system I have. Not faith, but they don't have the same belief system I have. There's different beliefs. I don't put myself above anyone. I'm wondering, how did I get here? And this is what I've been living in the past couple of years. These are the questions I still don't have answers to, as to like what is going on, what is happening. I had a moment, I want to say 3+ weeks ago, where I started questioning things I shouldn't. And what I mean by that is, I had a moment. It was very, very brief, but it still happened. I had a moment and I said, now, well, first of all, let me say, I know I didn't. Oh, yeah, I forgot I even had that. Whoops. Okay, let me just put that out there. I am a Christian. I believe in God. A Christian is a follower of Christ, not just somebody who says they're a Christian and then lives the complete opposite way. As a Christian, I said to myself, I had a moment. Well, I'm not going to say I said it to myself. I had a thought. And I said, if heaven and hell don't exist. Now, again, this wasn't a very well thought out. This was quite literally could have been just a seed to attack what it based off of what I was going through. I said, if death is really the end, like, and there's nothing after this, my life sucks. Because I haven't done anything enjoyable. And I don't, and respectfully, I don't mean that in terms of like streaming and the mixer times and all the people I met. I don't mean it like that. That's me doing things for other people. Me personally, I have not started living my life yet. And I know y'all have heard me say this. I haven't started living my life yet. At this point, primarily because of finances. Like, there's nothing that I want to do that doesn't have finances attached to it. At this point. So, I had that thought a few weeks ago. It's very brief. Very brief. Oops. Just leave it like that. So, these are the types of attacks that's happening over here. Same vibe, or at least the same vein in terms of like that Amazon appeal process. Since I've been at this job, like the main manager, the main person, like the boss. So there's the main boss, the people that sit under her are the supervisors, basically. So the main boss and 3 of the supervisors have basically said, hey, I see you're a good worker. Are you interested in staying past the holiday? I told them all yes. The first one who asked was like my main supervisor. Like, he was the one who I did the site visit with. He's the one that I basically kind of go to pretty much for everything. He's the most tangible one for everybody, realistically. Like, he's a minimum step down from the boss. Had that conversation with him, whatever. His insight on how I would get a job is kind of limited. So I don't. Anyway, my point is, even though that's going on, there's nothing solid. Even though they want me to stay, everybody, even today, another supervisor was talking to me about, do you want to stay after? Like, I'm telling everybody yes, but it's kind of like, I guess, like, again, they're limited. One of the supervisors was like, I'm gonna ask around. Like, I already asked, and they told me that we can't, keep a holiday person. A holiday person, you would have to go into a different position, but still be like doing the same thing. It would just be a different title. They told me like a couple of days, like it was either yesterday, maybe 2 days ago, less than 3 days ago. Another supervisor was like, I'm gonna ask around and see how we can keep you, because I see the type of worker you are. That being said, as of today, I've heard nothing, and I have 7 days until my assignment ends. So remember when I said the same vein as Amazon? Whatever's going to happen beyond next Friday, I know I'm going to be okay. I don't know how. I know I'm going to be okay, but I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Student loans are still there. Worked out an agreement with them to say that the money that I owe them, because I'm behind by like 90 days, if I pay them, if I make my payment 3 months in a row, they'll take the money I owe them and put it back into the loan. So again, that's not them really helping me. But I already made one payment, had to borrow money to do that. I borrowed money. Today was my first paycheck because they get paid bi-weekly at the post office. My account was negative probably since Wednesday. These are the things that are going on while I'm not streaming. Not asking for handouts. Honestly, for anyone, as long as you're praying to God, I'm just going to say it that way. Not a God, the God. Pray for me. I don't feel like I'm doing well. That's me being honest. Um, I think I've told the story or said it this way. Against my will, I've spent a lot of time alone. But what that has given me is the ability to know myself and learn myself. I'm not doing well. Not doing too well. Spiritually, financially, mentally, not doing too well. but I'm still here. So I'll be honest, I don't know how to segue or transition into the next thing I want to talk about. This is is they're kind of paired together, kind of. I mentioned to y'all this isn't okay, so I want to say something real quick. I don't know how this is gonna flow. I'm just gonna go and let the Holy Spirit do what it does. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Yeah, there's a reason why. Okay, I got you. So when I was talking about basically me going from, I know what I was gonna say. Just give me a second. Going from a season where everything I did worked to the season I'm currently in, where it seems like nothing's really working. This honestly kind of fits. There's gonna be a new series. I know Road to SWAT had to pause and stuff like that, but the new series is also one of the reasons why I wasn't streaming. I mentioned it in the Discord for those who are in there. I told them that I was working on something, and I didn't want to stream until it was finished. Now, every time I got close to it being finished, I found something else to add to it. And then as I started to get where I wanted to be, I found something else that I wanted to add to it. And then after I found that, now the things aren't working. So now I have to put together all of the knowledge that I obtained from the beginning of this journey to where I am now and see, okay, well, what makes sense for this time period? What can I maybe do at a later time? What can I do right now that fits what it is that I'm going for? Because I basically had my mind up. I was having some technical difficulties, but there was a support. Like, I've been in and out of Discords, YouTube videos like crazy. Um, how to's, how to install. Like, I'll tell you what I'm talking about in a second. But I had a message typed up to a support team to help me with an issue I was having, and I realized it was already like there, but I even got, well, they sent out a message today because I'm in their Discord. But what I wanted to use is broken right now. There's no other way to say it. So it would mean me delaying the series, which I don't want to do. It would mean me delaying the series for an undefined amount of time because I don't know when they're going to fix it. So obviously that's not going to work. That part of it, I can actually save and do something else with it. What I have now, if I can get that to work the way I want it to, which honestly, it's about, to be honest with you, it's about, I want to say 90 to a 92% done. That last 8%, it has to be 100, or else I'm not putting it out. It has to be 100. Things happen outside of that once we start, that's uncontrollable. But from the jump, I want to make sure I have what it is that I want to have the puzzle. I want to have the pieces in the right place when I start. So, I said to y'all, this is going back to what I was about to say and stop. I said to y'all that me trying to protect you or shelter you or shield you from the world that we're living in is not a realistic thing. And what I mean by that is I'm a product of it. I'm a product of it. The parent who wants to shield their child from the bad things in the world. There's some merit to it, but it also produces a handicap. Because when you get out on your own, you don't know how to navigate. That was for who it was for. So, this new series that we are going to do. Now, I'm going to say, because I have a note here, and I'm going to make sure I say it. And I'll make sure I'm accurate at the time of this recording. Okay, I saw the number. When I had this idea, I had about 75. I honestly, I can't remember. It was either because like it's a PC game, I'll say that, and they show you your hours. I had it was either 75 or 85 hours. It was one of those two numbers. I can't remember which one. I don't know what I was doing during that time, but as of today, because I had to test this and test this to see if it's working, and test this and test this and test this, and constant testing after this didn't, and okay, this didn't work. Now I got to reset everything in order to, so now I got to test it again and test it again. I have 147 hours in this game. So that's pretty much either 60 to 70 hours of testing. For what it is that we're about to do. Had several ideas on how I wanted to do it. There were rumors, I'll put it that way. There were rumors of it actually being the next series in the road to SWAT. But it became too big. It became too big. It's too big for the road to SWAT. It's its own series. So what we're about to do, I will let you guys know when it's ready. Like I said, 92%. If I get off early enough today, which I hope to be off in an hour or less, I'm going to go back to testing and researching and all that stuff. Some may be already familiar with it. I'm very late to the party, I'll be honest. But that's nothing new. I'm trying to get better at that. What we're about to do, we are going to do a modded single player RP series in GTA. Say that again. We're going to do a modded single player RP series in GTA. We're going to talk immersion for a second. You guys are familiar with Assassin's Creed? For those of you who are, you guys know about the Animus Project? That's the kind of vibe we're going for. So, what's going to happen is we're going to play through the story, but only from Franklin's perspective. Some missions require you to switch. Those you might even know the story front to back. I've completed it only once. Anyway, the point is we are going to be playing it solely from Franklin's perspective. Why? Because within the missions is going to be Franklin. In the free roam portion, it's going to be me. I'm not giving anything else away, but I do want to talk about 3 things real quick. So think of Assassin's Creed. You are you playing somebody else's story. That's kind of what's going to happen in the missions. But when you're in free roam, you're doing things that you want to do. Like there's no cutscenes, stuff like that. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to explain. Okay. I'm going to explain. I'm just going to put these up right now and then I'm going to explain them. Okay. There will be things. Okay. You know what? Let me back up a little bit, then I'll talk about that. The idea behind this, behind the RP part of this, is remember when I said to you trying to shield you from the world is not going to work. It's not realistic. I'm going to shield you in a different way. What I'm going to do, this took a lot of work, y'all. This took a lot of work, and I'm still not done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how I got here. That's the vibe we're going for. So, I don't know how to describe this other than to say there's going to be music. So this is where the unlisted playlist gets added to again with these episodes, just in case they don't make it to the main channel. If this doesn't work, I'll find out another way to get these videos out to you, like uncensored and all of that stuff. But there will be music. The music is going to be a blend, okay? A blend of today's music, but it is going to be smothered, okay? Smothered in the music that I used to listen to when I was in high school. For those who have been asking me to put, my like songs into a playlist and stuff like that, this is, okay? If you want to know what it was like for me as a teenager and as like early 20s or whatever, like that era, this is the vibe that I'm going for. Like that's going to be the overall theme of what it is that we're going on here. Obviously it's going to be me as of today and stuff like that. Like it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to mesh. Okay? It's going to be interesting to mesh. I'm not playing a 14-year-old or an 18-year-old or a 20-year-old. I'm playing me today. But this is a part of me that I don't want to say haven't advertised. It's a part of me that I haven't displayed very often. That's why I put up the disclaimers to help you to understand it's me today. I'm not going to be cursing. I'm not going to be swearing, whatever you want to call it, cursing, swear, whatever. I'm not going to be doing that. But they will be. Y'all know GTA. They will be. I'm going to respond to them as me today. Because I'm going to show you this is for y'all know me, entertainment and educational. They go very well together. They go very well together. It leaves a better impression if people are entertained while being educated. What I want to say is this. There are going to be several RP scenarios. Various people I'm talking to, things that I'm doing. There's going to be things going on. Okay? There's going to be things going on. No, you will not catch me in a strip club. That's not me. No, I'm not going to be drinking. Not going to be smoking. That's not me. So you understand what we'll get back to that in a second. But this is a very important part. The comment that I made in terms of the Road to SWAT series applies here as well. You got comments about what's going on? Put them in the chat. Put them in the comment section. You got a question that sparked your mind because of what you see going on that you want to ask me or ask about? Put it in the comment section. Put it in the chat. I will RP it into the scenario. So this isn't just me. This isn't just a one-sided story. This is you being the person that I'm talking to at that moment. This is you asking me questions through the person that I'm talking to at that moment. It's a challenge for me, okay? I'm not going to sit here and lie. It's a challenge. But ask away. Comment away. Okay? I'm letting you know up front there's going to be an RP element to it so that you understand that I'm not just going to be like, all right, so what's up, chat? How y'all do? I tried to get away from calling y'all chat for a reason because I want y'all to understand we're all part of this together. This is what we're doing this together. I don't want you to think you're separate from me. I just don't know what to call y'all yet, honestly. So that's why I just stick to saying nothing. Like, what's going on, y'all? How's everybody doing? Just we're in a group chat. We're just hanging out. Okay. Okay, so that's coming. I don't know how I'm gonna announce it. I don't know. Maybe my mind works and a trailer comes out for it. Maybe it doesn't and we just started. This is the official announcement for the series that's coming very soon. It's almost finished. All right, there's an ad starting, so I'm gonna transition here. I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. This is this is a weird scenario for me right now. This is a weird scenario for me. I've never said this before on stream. Yeah, I know I don't look at my users in chat, so whoever's listening is listening. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. It may not be everybody's favorite topic of conversation. It may have been, I'll be honest, it may have been the creation of this series that made me think about it. I don't remember at this point. I honestly I don't remember what sparked the thought, but this series brought me back. Like like it brought me back into my mindset and the thing. All right, I'm not gonna. I literally have. That's crazy. It's sitting right here. That's my high school badge. It's sitting right here. Sitting right here. That's crazy. That's been there the whole time, and I just okay. Anyway, the point is, I want to talk to y'all about something. From the very first part of the Tiger Talk, when I was telling y'all about me knowing myself and stuff like that, y'all will have to excuse me for a second because this may or may not get cut depending on what she says. And when I say she, I mean my future girlfriend and or wife. If she tells me this isn't needed, then I'm gonna cut this out of the video going forward. But for now, I'm gonna say this. From the first part where I was telling y'all about how this season of my life that I'm in right now is really putting me in touch with the things that everybody else feels, I guess, put it that way. Like it was funny. It was funny but so true. I think it was I can't remember if it was Spec or Rich. I think it was Spec. We were having a conversation and we were having a conversation about the girl. We were having a conversation about the girl at Amazon. And I was telling him about how, how, you know, during my years of streaming, countless opportunities, you guys have seen me fearless, no matter what the situation was, no matter what was going on, whether it was a troll in chat, whether it was a conversation that may have gotten heated, whatever the situation was, you never saw me in a situation of compromise or anything like that. Like you never saw me afraid of anything. We're not talking about horror or Outlast. We're not talking about that kind of. But he was like, so he is human. That's what I am being faced with every single day. I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't like it. This is not. I don't enjoy this. I liked how my life was before. Be honest. But I'm gonna talk about this. I want you to know how real of a person I am. Like this series that we're about to do is my explanation is not the right word. I don't know if example is the right word either. I'm going to just start talking and we're going to let God do what he wants to do. The GTA series we're about to do is my example of what it means to be a Christian. There's a lot of people that have a lot of different opinions about what it means to be a Christian. You guys know me, I hang out with everybody. I don't judge. I don't there's like I come from a different breed of Christians where we embrace people. We don't judge people. This GTA series is my example to you to say, this is what being a Christian means to me. This is what it means to be a real Christian. Not to avoid. I want to be careful how I say this. Not to shut yourself in a bubble because you see something outside of your belief system. Not to cut people off because they don't think the way you do. The Bible says that we are to be in this world, but not of this world, which essentially means I'm living, breathing, skin and flesh, just like you. But inside, there's a different set of rules that's governing me. So, what I want to talk about here is it's very real to me. I don't want to say sensitive or touchy, because it's not. It's a very real thing that I deal with on a consistent basis. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't know how to position this in a way that sounds. So I'm just gonna say it. When I was a teenager, well, I'll put it this way. Growing up, I'll put it to you this way. Everybody has their stories, right? Everybody has their stories as to how they got to where they are today. You know, you got stories of people that, you know, I'm just gonna go here and say people that have one night stands, people that, you know, couldn't remember night before because they were drunk and all that stuff. Some of my friends back in high school, people had different girlfriends, people had multiple girlfriends. Just you get where I'm going. They talk about like what they struggled with, kind of that kind of thing. Like they talk about when they were doing the wildest parts and stuff like that. I didn't smoke. The closest listen, I'm gonna be real with you. We about to have a real conversation, so fasten your seatbelt. The closest I came to smoking, I was in middle school. I don't care what y'all think of me. I was in middle school. It was a field trip to Washington, D.C., because I live in Jersey, so it's not that far. It was a field trip to Washington, D.C. My mom was my chaperone. And we stopped at, I don't know where it was, but we stopped at a store that had like souvenirs and stuff like that. I wanted to buy, because everybody else is getting it, I wanted to buy candy cigarettes. They weren't real cigarettes, but they were candy cigarettes. And my mom wouldn't let me buy them. That's the closest I came to smoking. That's the closest I came to smoking. Drinking? I want to say I was 19 years old. I could probably look up the date, honestly, and really like give you really how this went. I want one of these two, okay? I was either 18. Hold on, because I can give you. So it's about to be 2026. I was 19. There you go. I got y'all. I was 19 years old. I had my first drink at 19 years old, and it was at my father's 40th birthday party. I think he gave me a shot of Hennessy, and he gave me a Coors Light as a chaser. He swore, based on how because y'all have on stream see me drink a whole bottle of water or Gatorade without coming up for air. He swore because of how I drank the Coors that I had drank before. That was my first and only shot. Never drink alcohol before or after that. Never smoked. Drank once. Never did any drugs. But my drug of choice, how do I say this? I'm just going to say it. I'm going to stop pausing. My drug of choice is intimacy. I'm going to let those thinkers out there go ahead, formulate your thought. I'll give you a second. Now I'll tell you what I'm talking about. At the age of 14, I was introduced to pornography by my friend who lived like technically 3 blocks, maybe 4 blocks away from me. We ended up, well, I don't know when it was, but I know it was my freshman year. I think it was either had to be freshman. We were on a basketball team together. We were kind of close until he started to hang with a different crowd. Anyway, we lived like 4 blocks away from each other. And what happened was I went to his house one day, and for whatever reason, can't tell you. We were chilling in his room, and he put in, I'm not gonna use the name because the names aren't important. He put in one of his grandfather's pornography tapes. We started watching it, not very long, and his mom came in. I think he stopped the tape at the point, but she found out what was happening. I don't know what happened to him after that. I mean, I still saw him in school. We were on the basketball team together for a while. I mean, he played freshman with us, and then he actually went to varsity because he was like 6 something, and he was the only one in the entire school who could dunk or whatever, and he could barely dunk. Anyway, moving on. But again, like I said, our friendship kind of separated because he started hanging out with a different group, and I just wasn't about it. So pornography was introduced to me at the age of 14. The reason I said my drug of choice is intimacy, because to this day, there are things I struggle with when it comes to pornography. Not to the point of it being an addiction, but there is a craving for intimacy. That's why I said it's intimacy. I've spent we're talking about 20 years here. I had to figure out, why was this attached to me so strong. I told you I want to get married, all that stuff. Kids, that's up to my wife, honestly. Either way, I'm fine. But there is a desire for intimacy. I'm a very affectionate person. I love to flirt, not with a whole bunch of people, but I love females. Y'all have heard me say this. I protect females with my life. I don't care. Listen, I don't listen, y'all know this. Females are the most beautiful thing God created on this earth, and there is no second place. I told y'all have heard me say it. Maybe some of the stuff that I've said over the years will start to make sense now. I told y'all I'm not me if I'm not in a relationship, because it brings out a side of me that I have to keep to myself, basically, because I'm not just, I don't date more than one girl at one time. We'll get into that. Pornography was my drug of choice. I don't remember how this happened. I was introduced to masturbation, not by any particular person. Because of the whole pornography introduction, it was a seed. And it attached itself to something pure, meaning intimacy. Bro, that says grade 12. This is my senior year picture. That's crazy. Anyway, so it attached itself to something pure. I had the conversation with y'all about the girl I met when I was 17, junior year of high school. I always refer to her as the girl I should have married. The first time I had sex, I was 18 years old. I told y'all, buckle your seatbelts. I'm trying to let you know I'm a real person here. Intimacy was my drug of choice. I just, like I said, I'm just gonna say it, and if something comes to me to like go back and like say something about it, then I will. But I'm talking to who I'm talking to. In my lifetime, I have had sexual intercourse with 2 women. The girl at 18 and the girl I met in college, who I proposed to, and she said yes. This is why like I said, I'm telling you, I'm like I told y'all, this second time around, for the first time around, I didn't care about numbers either. But this time around, I'm speaking to who I'm speaking to. This is a living Bible. I'm telling you what it means to be a Christian. It doesn't mean you don't go through things. It doesn't mean you don't struggle with things. You have a different belief system that allows you to conquer the things that it is that you're going through. You get a conviction about the stuff that you're doing. It doesn't feel good to watch pornography. You know, for those who have the conviction, I'll put it that way. Some people do it. Some people watch pornography as a couple, like together. Not a good idea. I'm just letting you know. Anyway, for those with the conviction, you feel it. You feel it. It's kind of like The walk of shame after you have a one night stand, it's like that. It's like that. There's a high and then there's an extreme low. There were, so going back to what we were talking about before that, there were, I'm not going to come out and say it because I am already saying it. I had 2 internet relationships. I'll leave it up to your imagination. I'll leave it at that. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say anything. The reason I'm telling you this is, once again, what it means to be a Christian is not that you don't struggle with stuff. It's not that you're some type of separate cultist group from the world. That's not what that means. It's simply saying that I live by a different rule book. It's the same difference between being a football player and being a basketball player. You live by a different rule book. So this is why I said I didn't know how to mesh the two, because this GTA series that we're about to do, you're about to hear the things that the type of music that I listen to, the type of stuff that I grew up on, the type of stuff that I grew up on that got me to where I am today, this type of stuff that I connected myself to. Like I said, I don't fully remember what it was that made me think that it was time to tell this part of my story. I guess I think it might have been the GTA series, because I mean, just in me test, I mean, y'all know GTA. The game's 12 years old at this point. There's stuff that's said just randomly, like you're not even doing anything. Like you don't have to make it happen. People will just start cursing at you. They'll just start having random conversations about breasts and all that stuff. There's a strip club in the game. There's one scene in the game where Trevor's having sex with some woman. I don't know who it is. It's not like I don't think there's any nudity. I don't believe so. But anyway, I'm basically putting this out here because I want you to know how serious I am about helping people. And about helping people to understand that you have a choice. That's pretty much, to be honest, what my entire life has been about. Some of the same people, like, for example, the people you heard me playing 2K with, the ones I edited, one of them, I'll just say that, one of them, I knew him before he was cursing. But I was still the same person. All I'm here to do is be an example, just to show people you have a choice. You have a choice. If you don't want what I'm offering you, I'm not offended. I'm not offended. Because it's not me that's offering it. I'm literally like when I say a living Bible, I'm living out what it means to be a Christian in front of you. How many gospel songs have y'all heard on here? And I'm gonna be honest with you, that's what I was gonna do. That's what I was gonna do. We can do this because This is my recap from Spotify. I know some of y'all got this already. This is my recap from Spotify. This is a gospel artist. This is a gospel song. This is a gospel song. This is a gospel song. This is from Neo, Miss Right. Favorite Girl is from Justin Bieber. Y'all can see the top artists I've listened to in the last. This is just the ones that were on repeat. Like I don't play the gospel songs, to be honest with you, not because I can't play it, but because I don't want to give people the wrong idea. Like I don't want people to think that all of a sudden I'm a preacher with a microphone and a pulpit. I I'm just a person here. I just want you to live the best life that you can. However you take that, you take that. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, where's my other one? Where is it? I know I had at least. Where is it? That's Spotify. Where is it? I had a YouTube one that came out recently. Can you move? Where was the YouTube one? Where did I put that? Where's the YouTube one? Spotify. I don't see it. All right, I'll do this because this was Steam. This is the Steam replay. You can pause it if you like. I'm just scrolling through. Apex Legends, I only play the bots. I only play the bots. Dune, I can see when I played it when it first came out. This is from me. Look. These are the hours I spent testing for the new series. That's what this was about. In reference to what we were just talking about, I'm letting you know I hit a low. I told Frog about it too. I hit a low. I bought Cyberpunk. I bought it in May. Okay? I bought Cyberpunk for one reason and one reason only. I bought this game because, and I actually researched it before I bought it. I bought this game because I found out you could have a relationship. I looked up the romantic interests before I bought the game. I decided what girl I was gonna I guess hook up with is the best way to put it, or like attach myself to. I looked up tutorials on the right things to say in the cutscenes. Cash Cleaner said, "Yeah, this was just therapy for me. This was yeah. You can see it was just a 1 month thing." Um, this was me just installing the stuff. But yeah, I literally bought Cyberpunk because I found out you got a relationship in it. That's why I said my drug of choice is intimacy. It genuinely is. There you go. So I'm gonna put this back up real quick. I just want to. Is this it? Oh no! I did a script. Oh, here's the YouTube part. This is what I was looking for. But I did. Oh! Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I thought it was just a screenshot. Hold on. This might be it. Is this it? The heck? No, what? What? What is happening? Hold on. I'm an idiot. I copied the wrong thing. Hold on. I'm gonna show you something. Is this it? 'Cause I'll bring y'all back right now. Is this it? Here it is. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna let y'all watch it. It's almost finished. There you go. Testing. Is this messing up again? Is this messing up again? No. Okay. Maybe my headphone just turned off, but so well, there it is. I hear it now. Now that I took the headphone off or turned it off. I don't really have anything else to say. Shh. Quiet, you. I don't really have anything else to say. I hope it makes sense now as to why I am the way that I am. I'm just a person trying to help as many people as I can. whether you think I understand you or not. I got nothing else, y'all. I got nothing else. Comment section, DMs, whatever you want to do. I'm just somebody trying to help somebody. I don't have this pristine white canvas that doesn't have any marks on it or have any mistakes on my record. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and try and come up with something to say. I've got nothing else. GTA series coming soon. I may or may not stream tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen for Monday. If I don't see you guys, have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas, New Year's, all of that. And once again, the only thing I ask is that for those who know a word of prayer, pray for me, because life is kind of rough right now. This humanity thing. I'm used to living in heaven. And now I feel like Job, where the hedge of protection is stripped, and it's just nothing but bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news. At times, I feel like I'm running on fumes, but I keep going. I find people to help. I don't know completely if I'm going to. I don't know if I'm completely going to do it or not. Is it? Is it doing the thing again? Hold on, y'all. I just want to make sure. Hold on. Nah, it sounds doubled again. Didn't I get rid of you? How's that? Remove. How's that? No, that's not that good. How about this one? Testing. It sounds okay. It sounds okay when I'm not getting into all that. I hope you got something out of it. I appreciate y'all. If you got past all the difficulties and all that stuff, I hope you got something out of it. I'll see y'all soon. As you can clearly see, I got some more work to do. Like I said, just don't want to work. So I just got to keep moving. I just got to keep moving. I can't sit in this. This is not a place I want to sit and stay. So I appreciate y'all. I got some more work to do. My DMs are open. Twitter, Xbox, Discord. Y'all know how that goes. Y'all know the motto. If you're gonna do it,